20.
What have we got?
3 minutes.
Live.
Well, welcome to a packed Brewster Park here this evening for the replay of the Fermanagh Senior Championship final between Erne Gaels and Enniskillen Gaels. I have my two compatriots here again, Colin Bradley, we're definitely not going to fall out this week, and Niall Smith. We'll go straight into it because we haven't just got much time here this evening. The game is probably ready to start. Colin, thoughts?
Well, better conditions is the first thing, so I think it'll be a bit of a better game. Again, Erne Gaels will be looking to keep it tight. I think Enniskillen, we talked about it last week, will they press up on the kickouts a bit earlier? And can they get those turnovers that they like to get, and then they can attack quick in the break? I don't think Erne Gaels are going to go into contact much. And what are you going to see from the big players? No real big players really stood out last week. Can one of them have a 9 out of 10 game? That could be the difference.
And Niall, Brandon in from the start here this week. Massive boost for Simon Bradley.
It is a massive boost, and I suppose Brandon on form will give them that bit of drive. I felt when he came on last week he maybe just didn't have the same impact as maybe the Gaels had hoped he would have. I think Brandon's he's a 60-minute man, he'll want to play the whole game, so certainly it's a real confidence booster for their squad that Brandon's now starting today.
And Colin, much chat after the drawn game last week that maybe Erne Gaels might have missed their chance here, missing a late free. I suppose Callum had a chance over there on the far side, a bit of talk maybe Ross could have taken it, all that type of stuff. Who in your opinion would have come out of that game probably feeling that they got away with one?
I think how each team reacts psychologically will be very important. I don't think it'll affect Shane Rooney one little bit. He's that type of player. Enniskillen will probably say to themselves, we didn't play well and we got a draw. Erne Gaels could flip it around and say, well look, we know we're as good as the Gaels now, we know we can go toe to toe with them. So it's going to be who reacts the best psychologically, but both teams can take a lot out of it, I think. Enniskillen because they didn't play well, and Erne Gaels because they matched Enniskillen.
And a lot was made, Niall, of last week. Our defence is very much on top. Jack McCann having a serious game on Conor Love, and that's one I suppose that we really need to watch closely. Erne Gaels would feel if they don't concede a goal they'd have a great chance in this game.
There's no doubt about that, and I think the Gaels really they live on goals. I mean, that's a real sort of lifeblood for them. The one thing I would say, I suppose, taking it from last week, and it sort of highlighted how on top the defences were. Both teams ended up at 50% below in terms of shooting shot to score ratio, and I think that was a big thing. I think the Gaels were maybe in early 40%, the Erne Gaels were early 40%, and the Gaels were 32%. So I think that was a big factor last week. I mean, certainly the Gaels created a lot more chances, but a lot of them were forced shots that maybe a wee bit more calm on the ball. They might have actually bore more fruit in terms of their shot taken.
And finally, before we hand back to Jet up here in the gantry, I know we're under a bit of pressure here this evening. I'm going to put you on the spot again, Colin, and I'm going to ask for that dreaded prediction.
Well, I predicted a draw last week. I just want to put that in the record. I think Enniskillen will win this by a couple of points. I think the conditions will suit their counter-attacking football a little bit better tonight, and I just think they'll eke out a small win.
Yeah, I think the Gaels would feel that they could play an awful lot better than they did last week. With that, and I've been saying it all along, I always felt that the Gaels were going to win by 3 points, and I'm sticking to that.
Well, I'm going to go for Belleek in extra time. Over to you, Jet.
Our referee for this evening's final is
yes, indeed, Morris. Thank you. It's take 2, or maybe is it take 3 here this afternoon? Because I suppose we had the Storm 2 weeks ago and the 8-point draw last Sunday. And I was just looking through some details earlier on, and I noticed that the last time the Senior Championship final went to a replay was 26 years ago, and it featured one of today's teams, that's Enniskillen Gaels, as they defeated Devonish 14 points to 1-3, and subsequently went on to win 5 more championships until Derry denied them 7 in a row back in 2004. So they sometimes say, Peter McGinnity, that it's the team that learns the most from the drawn game wins the replay. Which of these teams do you think has the most to learn?
Funny, I would have thought last Sunday's game was determined nearly by the conditions to some extent. It wasn't a day for forwards at all. The like of Conor Love had a quiet enough game.
Yeah.
Shane Rooney for Belleek had a strange enough game. I think what the difference today is going to be that the forwards will be fit to operate because the ground's in brilliant condition. And
It's ideal conditions, Peter.
Yeah, given that, I think the Gaels have a better forward line. So I'm going to go with the Gaels.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as Morris alluded to down there, thinks that maybe Erne Gaels missed the boat, but maybe that's a wee bit unfair, because at the end of the day, Enniskillen have to go out today and play better, and Erne Gaels will certainly not want to be allowing that to happen.
It really is hard to beat being up against the other team. Instead of talking about them and the managers in the dressing rooms doing the tagging and so on, actually when you play against them for an hour, you certainly know an awful lot more about them. So the two teams will have sussed each other out last week, and it'll be a case today then of, and I say the surface is brilliant today, it'll be the team that has the better scoring forwards, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we'll come back to you in a moment on that, because there's one, I suppose, a couple of significant changes on Enniskillen Gaels. We'll get a look at them first and foremost here. Ross Bogue, of course, the man. Believe it or not, he was the man that equalised the game in the 22nd minute of the second half last week and brought this game to a replay. Then it's Jack Tierney at 2, his brother Nathan Tierney at 3, and Josh Horn at 4. Conor Murphy wearing 18 comes in for Conor Watson at wing half back. Colin Quinn and Kieran Smith complete the half back line. Brandon Horn starts this afternoon, and he'll be accompanied by Johnny Cassidy. And then the half forward line is Owen Beacom, Conor McShea and Callum Jones, and the full forward line is Conor Love, Richie O'Callaghan and Ethan Beresford, who was the top scorer for Enniskillen Gaels last week, wears the number 20 shirt. As for Erne Gaels, 2 changes, the same as last week. Brian Ryder in goals, then Shane Mimna, Jack McCann and Alton O'Reilly. Half back line of Oisin Kellam, Brian Mullen and Ryan Lyons the captain. The middle of the field is Michael O'McGarrigle and Paul Ward wearing 21, who comes in place of Gregory McLone. And then the half forward line is Dan McCann, the man of the match last week, Egon Kellam 11, Martin Gilfeather 12, and the full forward line is Thomas McCaffrey, Shane Rooney and Alton Kellam. So both sides are in their respective huddles, and we wait for our national anthem, which is Aron Navian, which will be sung by Aoife O'Reilly from the Erne Gaels club. And Aoife is down pitch side and ready to entertain us with Aron Navian. Aoife O'Reilly, she can certainly sing, Peter McGinnis. We have the speaker beside us, so we heard the full rendition in some style there.
Yeah,
so, Peter, I was going to ask you, Brandon Horn starts today. How important is that for Enniskillen, and the fact also that John Reel isn't able to start, from what I understand?
Right, well, I thought Brandon coming in last week was a boost to Enniskillen. Having him from the start today is certainly going to make a difference. Like, he's a county midfielder.
Yeah.
And I don't like to continually harp about it, but the conditions today are made for footballers.
Yeah.
They're made for clean catches, they're made for good scores. Like, there's not a breath of wind. The pitch looks fabulous. So this is the day for the footballer, and Brandon is certainly one of those.
Well, we have a change of referee today, of course, with the replay. Owen Murphy, who was on the line last week from Derry Lynn O'Connell's, is our referee. Barry Monaghan from Irvinstown is our standby referee. On the line is Jerry McLaughlin, and the sideline official is the Devonish man, Michael Keown. Our umpires are Una Maguire, Enne McCarn, Stephen Curry and Gary Little. We wish all of our officials well, and we look forward, Peter McGinnity, to what should be a super championship replay. And already there's a little bit of fire in the midfielders, as we can see, and Owen Murphy throws it up. We're underway, and we welcome all our listeners from Ocean FM who are joining us this afternoon for live commentary here on this Monarch Senior Football Championship final, coming to you live from Brewster Park. as Erne Gaels come forward immediately with Johnny Cassidy. Brian Mullen seems to have picked up a significant knock and is in a lot of trouble. I think it looks like an arm injury, and this looks very serious. We follow the play with Colin Quinn. Could be the opening score of the game. It is the opening score of the game. Played 31 seconds. Colin Quinn has come forward and kicked the opening point of the game. A fine score, but maybe more. He's the number 6 for Enniskillen Gaels, but maybe more worryingly is the number 6 for Erne Gaels.
Yes, Brian Mullen definitely doesn't look well. It looks like his elbow. I'm not sure what he done, but it left the Gaels with a man up. And you mentioned Brandon Horn a couple of minutes ago. He was involved in that move, but as well, significantly, Johnny Cassidy was driving forward as well. So the Gaels will be looking for those two men in particular. And the score came from Conal Quinn, who's down as a number 6, down as a centre half back, but has played a lot of football in the forward line.
I see a picture of Mr. Bonner, the Declan Bonner, on the sideline. He, of course, got sent off here in the final last week. So I notice he's over the far side on the terrace side, patrolling over there away from everybody else. What's your take on that?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
This looks like a substitution here. Sorry, Brian's not going to continue. And that is a massive blow.
That is a huge blow.
No, Declan Bonner will be safer over there where there's not any noise going on
and he's
around
immediately on the phone. You can see down below us one of the Erne Gaels officials down here is on the phone. It's we'll try and work out who exactly that is.
Like
It's Gabriel Ferguson down below us who's on the phone to Declan Bonner over on the far side. So a decision has to be made.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Brian walking off here. He's holding his lower forearm or his wrist even. I don't know whether he probably landed awkwardly maybe. It was him got the fist to the ball, fist to the throw-in.
Yeah, so you see Brian in a lot of pain there coming off there. And that's sad because Brian Mullen has been such a stalwart for Erne Gaels over the years and was really looking forward to this championship final replay. A man who has soldiered long for the Erne Gaels, and he's been replaced now by Gregory McLeod on the field of play, wearing number 9, as the ball is battled for there. And it's won initially by Richie O'Callaghan, but well turned over on that occasion by Dan McCann. We can hardly hear ourselves up here, Peter.
Yeah, we're above the crowd. Funny, the other thing about Brian Mullen, he played a lot of time last week back in his own half, helping out. Now, I suppose that means that Brian Lyons will probably take up that role.
It'd be very interesting to see what role Gregory McLeod plays. He looks as if he wants to push forward, just keeping an eye on him as Tommy McCaffrey comes forward on the far side, 40 metres out, 30 metres out, still in possession, lays the ball back there, cuts out Egan Callum, and eventually it comes over here this side to Gregory McLeod, 32 years of age now, gives it there to Paul Ward gives it to Michael McGarrigle lays it off. Erne Gaels still in possession, lay it back to Dan McCann, the man who got 3 points last week. Enniskillen Gaels have every bar one player, that's Conor Love behind the ball, and doing the sweeping is Shane Mimna, as Erne Gaels retain possession with Egan Callum, just about retains it on that occasion, gets it back to Michael McGarrigle, and Alton Callum gets his first real touch in the game, gets it over now to Gregory McLeod, just on the field of play for Brian Mullen, still 50 metres out, back to Alton Callum it goes, man who scored 3 points last week, 24 years of age. Callum lays the ball off to Shane Rooney slips it inside to Ryan Lyons, off the shoulder, heavy hit on Ryan Lyons, high says our referee Owen Murphy, and the free will go the way of Erne Gaels, and Ryan Lyons stays on the ground.
Yes, well, Erne Gaels definitely do not need another injury. Ryan came on that ball at stop pace, and then if they touched him at all, he was going to end up on the ground. Just to looking at the Brian Mullen there, being treated by the first aid people. In fact, it was the Enniskillen doctor who was spending most of the time with him, Niall Gibson, and it looked like a shoulder problem. He has.
Well, the good news for them is that while Gregory McLeod is receiving attention, Ryan Lyons is back on his feet, and it's very interesting. Ryan Lyons is the man who's going to take this free. We'll all remember the opportunity that Shane Rooney had last week from, well, it was a bit closer than this, and it dropped short.
You asked earlier on, had they learned anything?
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of the things.
Well, he looks as if he's going to go short, didn't fancy it from that range. Gives it to Tommy McCaffrey. Huge noise from the Enniskillen Gaels management team down below us. I'm not sure whether you're picking that up on the microphone as Alton Callan gives a good ball inside, but Enniskillen Gaels working really, really hard, and there's another significant moment in the game, a brilliant turnover, and it was Conor McShea was the man who stripped the ball of Erne Gaels. There's a huge hunger about this Enniskillen Gaels team.
Yes, right from the throw-in. Right from the throw-in.
Well, they would have been really disappointed with their performance last week, so evidently one of the things they must have talked about was their intensity levels.
Yeah, and they've certainly brought the right intensity today.
Conor McShea spreads the ball over this near side of the field to where Kieran Smith, the 27-year-old sales manager, picks up the ball 45 metres out from the post, threads a good ball inside. Fielded on that occasion by Ethan Beresford. Beresford flicks it back to Richie O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan turns the ball over the far side to her own Beacom, gathers possession, comes inside on the left boot, might fancy it from distance, has it the distance. It's dangerous ball. It's knocked out there. I think it was Egan Callum. So it's back deep in his own defence. Done well. Cleared his lines and got it out to Ryan Lyons. And he in turn spreads the play over the far side of the field. And Erne Gaels have the opportunity to come forward in the shape there of Martin Gilfeather. Gilfeather gives it back to Egan Callum. Callum, 65 metres out from his own goals. Enniskillen in their yellow and blue jerseys retreat behind the ball. This time the only man staying up is Conor Murphy. As the ball is threaded over this near side, the stand side, the John Veazey stand here in Brewster Park, picked up by Alton O'Reilly, gives it to Dan McCann. O'Reilly gets it back again. O'Reilly in a bit of space, fists the ball forward. An opportunity now for Michael McGarrigle. McGarrigle gives it to Shane Rooney. Rooney coming back out the field, lays it off to Oisin Callum. Callum takes it at pace, close to the sideline. The sideline is in a Enniskillen Gaels friend on this occasion. Ball now in the hands of Gregor McLone. McLone tackled hard. Enniskillen swarming round the black jerseys, but Dan McCann does well. That looks like a late challenge on Dan McCann by Josh Horn. Our referee agrees with us, and the free is going to be taken quickly. Well, Dan McCann wanted to take it quickly, but is going to settle himself and bring it back out the field.
Right, well, that pattern has developed even at this early stage. Erne Gaels have got 13 men in their in Enniskillen's Gaels half, and the Gaels have 14 in their half. And
Alton Callum from distance. That's a fine effort from Alton Callum. That's a super score from Alton Callum. He got 3, as I said, in last week's final, and that's as good as any one of the 3 he got.
It certainly is. And funny, what I was going to say was that the Erne Gaels have a slow build up. They're allowing the Gaels to get back goal side, and then with that bit of hunger that you say the Gaels seem to have, that they maybe didn't have for most of the match last week, it's leaving them in control. But that's the one way to beat it, is to shoot from distance.
Yeah. 7 times the sides were level in last week's final. It finished 8 points apiece. Well, they're level for the first time today, 1 point apiece. Great take in the middle of the field, and Enniskillen come forward with Ryan Lyons to Alton Callum. Callum lays it off to the brother. The brother's Egan betwixt and between, but still going. Still Callum fisted over the bar. Brilliant individual score from Egan Callum. For 1 minute, Peter McGinnis had opened up, and we thought he might have been in on goal, but took the sensible option there, as we can see.
Yes, and this is Ryan Lyons started it. He's getting forward. The Enniskillen defence came out and had the ball played either through them or over them. I thought he was going to go for goal there as well.
And I think it was Alton's run that took the defenders away.
Yes, they're the one. Alton's the man they're paying most attention to.
Ball picked up again, break ball by Tommy McCaffrey. That's 2 in a row after a very bright start for Enniskillen. Erne Gaels have responded really well.
We talked about the hunger that Enniskillen displayed in the first couple of minutes, but winning breaks, it also is a serious display of hunger.
Oh, there's a serious edge to this game. There's a serious physicality as well, Peter.
Yes, so even at this early stage, Owen Murphy has a lot of stuff going on around him. It's Shane Rooney. Black card
for kicking out is what Owen Murphy has indicated. We might get another look at that one if at all possible, but Shane Rooney is not a happy man, Peter.
No, and well, I'm sure Erne Gaels are not happy either. Pretty despondent looking figure coming off Shane.
Well, pleading his innocence, but our referee Owen Murphy was right up with the play, and he indicated that there was a deliberate trip, I take it was. He put out as if he was, striker or moving with his foot, so I presume that indicates a deliberate trip, and Shane Rooney has had to make his way off for 10 minutes.
Yes, and in a tight game, that could be significant.
His side lead 2 points to 1, but Enniskillen Gaels looking to reply with Johnny Casty. Casty gives the ball inside into Josh Horn. Horn, the younger of the two brothers, lays it off to where Kieran Smith picks up possession 45 metres out from the post. Ross Bogue now might fancy it. No, elects to give it to Callum Jones. He might have a go at it. He does have a go at it. In round the danger area it goes. Oh, breaks. And they were so close. I think it was it Jack Tierney?
It was Jack Tierney.
Yeah, as the ball comes back out there to Callum Jones, he drops it in. And there's so much happening, Peter. The ball has been held on the goal line by Brian Ryder, but our referee, Owen Murphy, says that when Callum Jones was in the art of shooting, he was fouled, so he's given a free in.
Yes, now there's so many bodies back there. This is it. The ball came in high, was knocked down, and it's...
Josh Horn wasn't far away from that.
It's now. Yes.
Yeah.
Pushed as he was in the act of shooting.
Yeah. So Ron Murphy got that one spot on, and this is an opportunity for Callum Jones to level matters. We've played 11 and a half minutes. Callum Jones drops it over the bar, and the sides are level for the second time, and it just feels like there's so much happening, Peter.
Yes, that goalmouth incident, like Josh Horn was a hair's breadth away from finishing it to the net. And then they got the free, which was a bit of a bonus actually. There's a poor kick out by Brian Ryder.
Yeah, and then Enniskillen Gaels have their hands on it, and Kieran Smith comes forward, gives it off to Owen Beacom. Beacom spins and lays it off. Brilliant ball to Conor Love. Conor Love bearing in a goal. Love goes for goal. What a goal! Unbelievable strike by Conor Love. Owen Beacom did most of the hard work. He laid it off to Conor Love, who was in space, and we know that Conor Love is a goal scorer. He's got 3 goals and 8 points in the championship to date. Make that 4 goals and 8. What a goal!
Yes, and funny, the Garen Gaels men concentrated on the man with the ball. Conor came at pace, took it off him, and I suppose I'm just looking to it's gone back to live again. But of all men, he wasn't going to fist a point.
No.
He was going to go for goal.
Some finish, Peter, wasn't it?
Oh, it was some finish because he had a tight enough angle.
Yeah, and he put such power and vigour into a shot. And a confident Conor Love is a dangerous thing for Erne Gaels. He was kept quiet last week, failed to score in the game, but he's got as the first goal of this game, and it's his side, Enniskillen Gaels, to lead 1 goal and 2 to Erne Gaels, 2 points, and we've played 13 minutes in this Monarch Senior Football Championship final replay. Brandon Horn from distance. This looks good from distance from Horn. Is it Corlin? It is Corlin. What a score from Brandon Horn. Didn't start last week's final. Starts today and has scored a magnificent point. And what a spell it is for Enniskillen Gaels.
Yes, that was an inspirational point. And as you say, for someone who didn't take part in the first half last week, that is a serious bonus. Now the kick out. Well taken
on that occasion by Michael Owen McGarrigle. This is a really, really physical encounter, it has to be said. Both sides leaving nothing to be asked for, and serious intensity from the management teams down below us. I don't think I've ever seen Simon Bradley as agitated in all my life, to be honest. He's the Enniskillen Gaels manager, as Erne Gaels with Shane Mimner come forward. Bit of soccer style, but the ball has been given away. I'm not sure what Shane Mimner was thinking about at that stage, but it's been turned over there by Johnny Casty, and Casty has been fouled, and the free goes the way of Enniskillen.
Well, whether it's down to the shouting coming in from the management on the Enniskillen Gael side, but they've certainly tore into this game. Like they've tore into the work rate of every player. That turnover in the middle third actually could have been dangerous, except Ryan Lyons maybe had the presence of mind to foul Johnny Cassidy, to foul him.
Well, I'm gobsmacked by the Enniskillen Gaels bench below us, I have to say. The volume, the noise, the intensity, it's incredible. You'd have to be nearly here to believe it, as Richie O'Callaghan comes forward over the far side, 13 metres out, lays it off to Conor Love. Love cutting inside again. Confidence is high. Cuts inside on the left boot. Gets the shot away. That looks good again from Conor Love. Another super score from Conor Love from a difficult angle. And Enniskillen Gaels have hit 1, 2 without reply in the spell of the black card.
Right, I couldn't believe last week how quiet Conor Love was, but I put it down to the ground conditions. He has touched the ball 2 or 3 times at this stage yet after, how many minutes? 15 minutes, and he has a goal in the point. He looks a serious threat today.
Ball broke and breaks favourably again for Enniskillen. Callum Jones does well. Ball fed inside now, looking for Conor McShea, but too much on that, and that ball goes to the right hand side and goes wide. And I think that's the first wide of the game. We played 15 minutes and it's won 4 to 2 points in favour of Enniskillen. What an opening quarter!
Yes, funny. The players probably need a wee breather just with a kick out coming out slowly. Yeah, but we need a bit of a breather as well. There's been so much excitement going on and a lot of stuff, as you say, on the sideline, out on the pitch. The work rate of both teams now, in fairness, but the Gaels certainly have the upper hand.
Huge squeeze on this kick out. Well, Brian Ryder, it has to be said, done really, really well. Erne Gaels needed to get their hands on a kick out, and Brian Ryder was so brave, and so was Ultan Callum. Came forward and looked for him. That's a brilliant ball forward now from Ashley Callum to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey won a moment, Josh Owen. Still McCaffrey on the left boot, gets the shot away. That's a brilliant response by Tommy McCaffrey over the bar at Staines. He was another man that didn't score last week, and now he pops it over, and I would say that's a really, really important score, Peter.
Yes, a response, I suppose. But funny, Josh Horn did particularly well there too. It was one-on-one. Tommy, who's difficult to mark, tackle when he's on the ball, but he held him up, didn't buy the dummy, and allowed other players to get back to help him out.
Kick out for Ross Bogue. 16 minutes played, 1-4 to 3 points in favour of Enniskillen Gaels in this Monarch Seniors Championship final, coming to you live on Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GATV and being broadcast on Ocean FM this afternoon as well. We hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. We certainly are. Huge intensity, huge drive, huge passion, huge noise as Owen Beacom comes forward for Enniskillen Gaels. Lays it back there to where Jack Turney is. Turney feeds it back to his goalkeeper, Ross Bogue. Ross is 45 metres out from the opposition post. Very comfortable coming forward. Gives it over to Owen Beacom. Beacom close to the sideline. 30 metres out. Takes a bit of sting out of this attack. Lays it back to Jack Turney. Turney to Brandon Horn. Horn has a point to his name. Threads a good ball over to the opening point scorer of the game. That's Colin Quinn. Quinn comes forward, wearing number 6 on his back. Lays it back there now to Ethan Beresford. Beresford slips it forward. Gives it there to Quinn. Quinn back to Callum Jones. Jones back inside, it goes to Colin McShea. McShea drifts inside. Now been closed down by black jerseys. Erne Gaels with everybody behind the ball at this juncture as Enniskillen Gaels retain possession. Remember, Erne Gaels down to 14 men because Shane Rooney was black carded in the 9th minute. He has another 2 minutes or so to go and he'll be able to get back onto the field of play as Brandon Horn retains possession. Gives it there to his county colleague and of course his club colleague, that is Callum Jones. Jones comes forward, solos with the right, solos with the left, still going, been surrounded now by black jerseys, one of them being Jack McCann. McCann forces him back, but the ball breaks to Conor Love. Love trying to get on the left boot, still Conor Love lays it back out. The opportunity still persists for Enniskillen. That's a brilliant effort over on the far side. Has it curled in? It has curled in. An absolutely cracking point for Enniskillen Gaels. I think it may have been Ethan Beresford, was it?
It was Ethan Beresford or Callum, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was Ethan Beresford. Yeah. That's a brilliant score.
The quality of the shooting so far in the first 20 minutes, like compared to last week where it was a lot of misses, a lot of poor shots, completely different game altogether.
Well, you did say it would be because of the conditions, ideal conditions here in Brewster Park this evening in Enniskillen for this county final replay against the 13 times champions Enniskillen Gaels and the 2 times champions Erne Gaels, and Erne Gaels looking for an immediate response from Ultan Callum, but it goes to the right hand side or the left hand side as we look out high above the John Vesey stand here in Brewster Park. First wide of the game for Erne Gaels, 1 wide apiece, but the scoreboard says 8-1-5, 8 to Erne Gaels, 3 points.
Yes, it nearly looks even at this early stage that Erne Gaels are going to need a goal. Because they're not going to get the amount of points that's required to pull this back.
Jack Turney in possession for Enniskillen Gaels. Gives it to Owen Beacom. Beacom gives it over to Colin Quinn. Quinn spreads the play. Not the best ball in the world. Has been intercepted by Ryan Lyons, the captain of Erne Gaels. An opportunity for Ryan to break. Gives it to Egan Callum. Scored a fine point About 15 minutes ago. Still Callum in possession. Gives it to his older brother. That's Oisín Callum. Callum been tackled by the goalkeeper. He was that far up the pitch. He didn't get time to get back. The heavy deputy in there at the moment. We'll focus on, however, Ryan Lyons in possession. Ball in the hands of Shane Mimna. Mimna gives it inside to the man who had to come on after a couple of minutes. That's Gregory McClone for the injured Brian Mullen. And Erne Gaels come forward again with Martin Gilfeather. Gilfeather to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey, 13 metres out, still in possession. McCaffrey may have to come back out the field. Does so. Gives a good intelligent ball out there to McClone from distance. But this time it's gone to the right hand side and gone wide. A rash effort from Gregory McClone on that occasion.
Yes, he never settled himself at all. He just threw a leg at it. And funny, there's Shane Rooney back in now. No, they didn't. I was going to. When you're a man down, you want to try and limit the damage. But Enniskillen's goal and a couple of points have they benefited.
1-4 to a point, Peter, in that 10-minute period.
Right. They benefited enormously from that.
Certainly have.
So it wasn't just the fact that they were a man down, but it's the intensity that they brought to the game.
So Shane Rooney back on the field. We're at 15 apiece. 20 minutes played. A brilliant take in the middle of the field from that kick out from Ross Bow by Owen Bacon. He gives a good ball forward to Richie O'Callaghan, the experienced O'Callaghan, the 33-year-old teacher. 45 metres out. Gives it back to the point scorer a moment ago. That's Ethan Beresford. Scored 2 in the drawing game. 1 now in this replay. Gives it back to Jack Tierney. Tierney turns a good ball over there and picked up by Conor Murphy. Murphy in possession. Gives it to Kieran Smith. 21.5 minutes played. Enniskillen lead. 1-5-3. The retained possession. Erne Gaels holding just one player up. That's Shane Rooney, and he's been picked up by Josh Horn. As Brandon
funny,
picks it up
the contrast to that, Jed, is the fact that the Gaels have 5 men inside the 20-metre line when they're attacking, and if you just turn to the left you can see them.
Yeah, they're filling that area, leaving space for the likes of Conor Love, who puts in another effort. The umpires consult. Conor Love thinks it's over the bar, but the umpire decides it's definitely not.
Yes, so anybody that's going to be acting as a sweeper for Erne Gaels has been occupied by those players going inside the 20, which, funny enough, maybe that's what's benefiting Conor Love. His shots are mostly from distance, well, apart from the goals, so that they seem to have benefited from that.
He's playing with a swagger, but as Conor Love really, really is. He's enjoying himself out here this afternoon in this replay as Oisín Callum comes forward. Leaves the ball behind him, was picked up by his brother Alton. Great pace from Alton Callum. Super, but brilliant tackle from Conor McShea. Shane Rooney picks up the piece. Another strong tackle was in from Josh Horn. And Josh Horn lets Shane Rooney know all about it. Huge intensity again from Enniskillen. Don't think I've ever seen intensity like this in this Enniskillen team before, Peter.
Yes, I think so. I definitely think so. I haven't seen it now. Maybe the slap in the mouth they got last week with not winning, and maybe nearly getting beaten by that Shane Rooney free that wasn't scored, but by God, they have brought the intensity today.
As Callum Jones fires in an effort that goes to the right hand side and goes wide. But my question on that, Peter, is, can they keep that going for 60 minutes when they go into the dressing room? Can they replicate that when they come out in the second half?
Well, just the way they've approached this first half, I would imagine that they'll do exactly the same in the second half, until they just run out of steam, if that's possible.
Erne Gaels, if they can keep it in, maybe 3 or 4 points going into the break, they still have an opportunity to win their first title since 1981. But to be fair, so far it has been a half that Enniskillen Gaels have dominated. The lead 1-5 to 3 points as Erne Gaels come forward there with Paul Ward close to the sideline. Back it comes to where Oisín Callum is. Order started to be barked out down below us again from Simon Bradley and Aidan McCarn as Erne Gaels retain possession and come forward with Alton O'Reilly, the 21-year-old student, a dual player, a very good hurler, as he lays it off to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey close to the sideline again. Oh, well, the referee says there's a push. Josh Horn's everywhere.
Yes, he's tackling. And of course, I mentioned earlier on, he seems to have a bit of a responsibility for Tommy McCaffrey.
And he picked up Shane Rooney a moment ago.
Yeah. So he's looking after the danger man.
He certainly is, and doing it very, very well. As Dan McCann, man of the match last week, lays it off to Alton Callum. Callum 45, 50 metres out from the post. Callum looking for a little bit of space. That familiar solo. Still retains possession, gives it to the brother Oisín. Oisín goes to score from distance. Fine effort from Oisín Callum. That's a super score from Oisín Callum. He was 36, 37 metres out.
Yeah,
it over the bar.
It's hard to believe that these are the same two teams that played last week. Now, I repeat about the conditions, but some of the quality scores that we've seen, the intensity that we've seen, this is a completely different game.
It's a really entertaining game of football, Peter.
Oh yeah, and the quality is there.
Yeah. Ross Bogue with the kick out, up the goal, middle of the field, ball breaks. Who's going to break first? Breaking for the captain of Erne Gaels. That's Ryan Lyons. Does really well, wants to take it quickly, does take it quickly, asking a lot of his forwards in there. Referee says there's a foul. I said a moment ago, if Erne Gaels could get a couple of points and go in at the half, maybe 3 or 4 behind, they would be in they'd be in a happy enough place, I would have thought, based on what we've seen in the first half.
Yes, and there was no way that ball was going to be caught in the middle of the field by a Gaels player with the intensity that again Erne Gaels came to the break, winning the break, and then the ball was going to be played in over the back before the Gaels defence got set up.
Yeah.
And that's probably why the foul came out of.
And Ultan Callum has the opportunity to reduce the gap even further. It's double scores at the minute, 8-4. He can make that 8-5. Ultan Callum picks up his second point of the afternoon, and you know what? I think that might be the first score from a free.
Right, there you are. No, it has been, the quality has been great. But that's vital for, there's a couple of minutes left in this half. It's vital that Erne Gaels get in within touching distance before they go into the changing rooms.
1-5-5, 26 minutes and 44 seconds played according to the scoreboard to our right hand side. The night air, a beautiful evening here in Enniskillen. A brilliant take in the middle of the field by Michael O'McGarrigle. He was pretty quiet last week, but he's been pretty impressive this first half for Erne Gaels. And they're in possession with Paul Ward. Ward lays it back to Gregory McLone. Gives it to his captain. That's Ryan Lyons. Lyons, the 31-year-old. Comes forward, 45 metres out, looking for movement, provided there by Egon Callum. Egon lays it back. Erne Gaels in possession to their point score of a few moments ago. That's Oisín Callum. Oisín Callum comes forward, looks at where the movement is. Brilliant run from Callum again, gives it to Ryan Lyons. He pops it in. Dangerous ball. He'll be disappointed. Peter, did he get caught in two minds?
No, I think he went for it, but it just wasn't a great strike, and it was on his left foot as well. Maybe the wrong side of the pitch for a left-footed player, but still, I would have expected him to score.
Yeah.
The Gaels are getting a lot of people back. But Erne Gaels are not getting as many men up as the Gaels are. So when they're attacking, they play on the 45 literally.
Oh, Johnny Casty waited for it, and Dan McCann nipped in, and Erne Gaels come again with Ultan Callum. Ultan Callum still going. He was forced out onto the left boot. Good defensive play, but turns round on the loop, fires the shot in. That's a wonderful effort yet again from Ultan Callum. What a score! The quality of the scores. Ultan Callum with 2 in a row, one from his brother. Before that, Erne Gaels have hit 3 in a row, and it's now 1-5 to 6 points.
I nearly feel like asking, where were these players last week when we were watching, looking for some quality at times? That's as good a score as we've seen in Brewster Park, and maybe many's a day.
This is a super final. It really is. Wherever you are watching this or listening to it on Ocean FM, we hope you're enjoying the coverage. That's the voice of Peter McGinnity, Fermannagh's first All-Star with us here. And break ball won again by Erne Gaels. What a super last 5, 6, 7 minutes they've had to this half, and it's their captain who's driving them forward. Ryan Lyons won the break ball. Ball fed forward to Michael O'McGarrigle. McGarrigle be tackled by Callum Jones. McGarrigle does well. Lays it back there to Ultan O'Reilly. O'Reilly gives it to Gregory McLone. McLone takes the sting out of this attack. Lays it back to Oisín Mimna. Picks up possession. Mimna is instructed to give it over to Oisín Callum. Callum over the terrace side. Strides forward. Purposeful movement again for Erne Gaels. Gives it to Ultan Callum. Ball worked into Shane Mimna. Surely not from Mimna. Drops inside. Ross Bogue does really well.
Yeah.
Watches it all the way. Shane Mimna not known for taking scores. I thought for one fleeting moment, Peter, that one was going to go over the bar as well.
Yes, but then, the thing that Ross was worried about, it was a failed shot, so it was going to drop inside the square, and he had to command the square.
This is the first time that Enniskillen Gaels have came forward in the last 7 minutes. Ball threaded inside to where Conor Murphy is. Murphy lays it back out. Enniskillen Gaels retain possession. Over it comes towards Callum Jones. Callum Jones has Owen Beacom to use if need be. Callum Jones from distance, but Callum Jones' shot has gone badly to the left hand side and gone wide, fourth wide of the half for Enniskillen. And Owen, you have to say that our referee this afternoon, Owen Murphy from Derry Lynn, he's had a tough job.
Yes, because that intensity brings with it a lot of physical contact. Now he's doing fine. He's doing fine at this stage. But that shot by Callum Jones, that was more in hope or than expectation. He just threw a leg at it.
Done.
Is it?
Yeah, he done one over the far side.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes earlier. So Enniskillen Gaels haven't scored for 11 minutes. The board goes up down below. It tells us there'll be 3 minutes of additional time to be played. Erne Gaels won't want this half to come to an end. They struggled big time when they were down to 14 men. They lost that 10-minute period, 1-4 to a point. But however, in the last 10 minutes, they've hit 3 without reply. And there's only 2 points between the sides. And they're in possession with Michael Oak McGarrigle. McGarrigle gives it there to Paul Ward. Ward to Egon Callum. Callum, centre of the field, still retains possession. Lays it off to Shane Rooney. Rooney. Gregor McLean getting instructions on the sideline as he's operating down that wing. Gives it to Oisín Callum. Grow influence in the game. Callum, he did fancy it. Confidence was high. Ball goes inside. Oh, Michael Oak McGarrigle back inside. Oh, for one fleeting moment, Greg McLean thought he was getting onto it, but Tommy McCaffrey nips in, gets the ball. Ross Bogue pushes him back out. Back it comes to Egon Callum. Back to Shane Rooney. Rooney from distance. Dangerous stopping ball inside. No goalkeeper. It's in the net. It's in the net. It's Michael Oak McGarrigle. There was no goalkeeper there. Ryan Lyons was the man that flicked it across the square. And who was there but Michael Oak McGarrigle to pop the ball into the back of the net. A little bit of afters now with Uncle Callum and Gregor McLean. One of the Enniskillen Gaels players is down in the field. I think it's Johnny Casty. You just cannot take your eyes off this, Peter.
Yes, Michael Oak McGarrigle had been involved in the previous attack inside, was complaining to the umpire and found himself still inside. Now he might have been close to the small square there.
Ryan Lyons done unbelievably well when you look at the replay, Peter.
Yeah.
Knocked it back across the goal and into the back of the net. It sails unbelievably. Erne Gaels are 1-6 to 6 points, 1-6 to 1-5 in front. They went in at half time last week leading by a point, and deservedly so. Well, they'll now looks like they're going to go in leading by a point at half time in this replay. And at one stage they were in the 20th minute, it was 1-5 to 3 points. And matter of fact, in the 24th minute, it was 1-5 to 3 points, and they pulled it back.
What a finish to this half by them then.
Well, possession is in the hands of Erne Gaels again. They've turned this ball over, and this man, Oisín Callum, is having some game. Incredible. He's popped up everywhere as the referee calls for the ball. An exhilarating first half of football has come to an end. It has been so entertaining, and there's an edge still to it. There's still a little bit of shenanigans going on between the players. You just cannot take your eye off it. It's had everything, Peter, but most importantly, it's had real quality.
It's had real quality. It's also had intensity, and when you put the two things together, you end up with the sort of contest we have witnessed in that first 33 minutes. Now, both teams will go in, hopefully, and regroup and come back out and give us 30 minutes like that in the second half, because it's very much in the balance. There's no way you could even begin to think of who might win it in the end. 20
minutes into the game, the black card, Shane Rooney, came back onto the field. It was 1-5 to 3. It was still 1-5 to 3, 24 minutes in. And since then, Erne Gaels have somehow managed to turn this game around. They've hit 1-3 without reply.
Yes, and one of them was that point of Ulton Kellum's. My God, such a score. And then they had men inside in the box. That Michael Oak was inside and had been for a while. And then the flick across the square, as you said, Michael Oak was on hand to put it to the back of the net. So you do need a little bit of luck, but you need to be there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no point getting luck if you're not available.
And we've seen the intensity right below us. We're above the stand here, and both sets of managers, well, the Erne Gaels manager's over on the terrace. He's not allowed on the pitch today because of the red card last week. But you've seen the intensity of Simon Bradley and Eddie McCarn down there, and their team Enniskillen Gaels were replicating that
Yes.
for long periods.
Yeah.
To go in trailing by a point, they'll be shell-shocked.
That last 6-7 minutes of that half now that belonged to Erne Gaels, and they took advantage of it. The Gaels will be disappointed that the game swung so dramatically in those 5-6 minutes before half time. But look at here.
What turned that? The breaking ball for me and winning.
I thought winning ball in the middle of the field. They took over in the middle of the field, whereas before that they hadn't been getting any ball. They won. Michael Oger a brilliant catch. Do you remember? And then they won break after break, and that made.
Brian Lyons, Oshin Callum. Really inspiring.
Oh yeah. They really carried it to them now. So look we can only hope for a similar second half.
Do you think we'll get it?
Well, look, they're bound to run out of steam a little bit because they've put serious effort into that first 30. Now, but look, we can live in hope.
Yeah. Well, we hope it is as good. I think we're ready to go pitch side in a moment or so. Morris will be ready to take over. Yeah. So look at half time here up on the gantry. We've really enjoyed it. We're not sure what you guys thought of it down at pitch side, but we're very interested to hear your views. So down we go to Morris and Colm and Niall.
Well, thanks, Jet. Gentlemen, what can I say? What a enthralling, exciting first half. We were on the edge at times up there, and I suppose story of that first half, Shane Rooney's black card, Belleek leading the game by 2 points to 1. Enniskillen in that period scored, what was it, Colm, 1-4,
I think,
and Belleek coming back and to lead the game by a point, that goal by Michael Ogue. What an exciting first half.
It has been, and there's been a lot of edge to it. You can see both teams, nobody's taken a backward step. For me, the big thing is kickouts. Enniskillen pushed even before the black card, and Erne Gaels have pushed the whole half on the Enniskillen kickout, and you can see the momentum going with teams when they can get on top of the opposition's kickout. Enniskillen will be very disappointed to have built that lead and then not kicked on from it, or at least consolidated it. But for Erne Gaels, it's just a huge momentum swing now, because we talked about it before the game. Any doubt they might have had that they threw it away, that's not going to be there now. They're going to believe that they're the better team at the moment, especially because what is it? Was it 1-5 to a point or 1-6 to a point? Whenever the teams have been 15 against 15. So that's a huge fillip for Erne Gaels.
Yes, Niall, they will indeed take great heart of that, the way they came back and the way they got those scores. And we made the point up. I said to Colm at one stage, Enniskillen were on top, but you really felt they needed to go 6, 7, 8 points up to really take the steam out of Belleek. But in credit to Erne Gaels, they didn't panic.
They didn't panic, and I suppose at the same time I felt that obviously Enniskillen Gaels, their mindset changed whenever Shane went off with the black card, and I suppose we were sort of debating, was it a black card? It's one of those, but at the same time it made such a difference to the game. The Gaels then had serious intent. They attacked the game, they attacked the kick out, and they scored 1-4. On the flip side of that, once Shane came back on again, I felt that the Gaels started to drop off a wee bit. Erne Gaels started winning their own kick out and started putting pressure on Enniskillen Gaels kick out, and that actually ended up in the scores and the positive run that they really had. Looking at the important stat there, actually, in terms of the score sources in the first half, the key score source for Erne Gaels was winning kick-outs between their own and Enniskillen Gaels kick-out. In terms of the Gaels, it was turnovers. Most of their scores were coming from turnovers. So I think it just shows you the intent. And again, the Gaels had got off to a great start because they showed serious intent from the start. An extra edge to them tonight, but I think Erne Gaels have certainly weathered the storm and turned the game around.
And I suppose a huge factor that we forgot about right from the throw-in, huge player for Belleek, Boots, Brian Mullen having to go off there, unfortunately for him, but Greg McGlone has slotted in here and indeed doesn't look out of place there, Colm.
No, he doesn't. He's done well. Brian Mullen, one of the most underrated club footballers in Fermanagh over the last number of years, really sort of calms Erne Gaels down, but I think they wobbled a bit, when he wasn't there, but they've found their feet again, and the last 10 minutes of that half they just completely dominated. I think Niall's right. I think the Gaels, I think, are going to just have to say we're going to push in every kick out that we can. We're not going to concede it. If Erne Gaels get one away short, that's okay. You can try and pressure it because you can see the intent at the other end of the pitch. I think there's been a couple of great scores too. Conor Love's goal was as good as you'll ever see. He kicked a great point as well. There's been some great kicks on the other end. Ulton Callan kicked one. I think Oshin Callan kicked another one. So there's been some cracking scores as well. A a brilliant game, a brilliant advertisement for Fermanagh football, and I think now one thing we can say is that we can't predict what's going to happen because we almost had two halves within a half there, so it's all to play for.
Absolutely, it's all to play for, and I suppose the black card, Niall, we had hoped maybe this game wouldn't be decided on a referee indecision, and I suppose from Belleek's point of view they may have felt that it was harsh, and when you see, I suppose, the effect of when the black card came, in your opinion, was it a black card?
Again, it's one of those, it's really hard to call because obviously the intent possibly was there, but the player, to be fair to him, he didn't go down. I suppose Erne Gaels would probably feel that 5-minute period was crucial because they lost Shane and then Curly's goal, Connor's goal, which was a superbly taken goal. Before that, they felt that maybe Gaels shouldn't have had a free in, and I suppose a couple of decisions like that. But I mean, that's what happens in games, it balances out. I mean, Enniskillen will be saying the same. Maybe they felt that there was a few soft frees given against them later on. At the end of the day, I think the players have risen above that. I think they're certainly both have weathered the storm in certain ways, and both are playing to the best of their ability. I mean, I think both teams are giving it their all out there.
And you alluded to it earlier there, Colm. I mean, some of the score taken in this game has been outstanding. I mean, Ultan Callum got a couple of wonder points there, and as you said, Curly's goal, you paid the admission fee alone to see it. So we can only expect more of the same, hopefully, in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, last week we talked about the big players maybe not having the influence that they had. I thought Ultan Callum really stepped up. His 2 points came when Erne Gaels really needed them, and he's driving at Enniskillen or bringing 3-4 players to him, but he's checking his run, he's popping the ball back, and he's creating space for others. At the other end, Conor Love can do things I think no other forward in Fermanagh can do, but it's interesting, it was a turnover I think led to that goal. So for the Gaels, Niall said it, they're getting their scores from turnovers, and I think you're going to see a higher press from Enniskillen from open play this half. They're going to try and turn that ball over, because if they get Conor 1-on-1 or even 2-on-1, he's going to create damage. I mean, we've seen it 1-2 already from play, and if he gets 6 or 7 possessions close to goal, he'll kick another 1-2 or 1-3.
Well, Niall, you were keeping the stats for us up there in the first half, and you spoke earlier here, and as we spoke here, about the kickouts and how crucial the kickouts are, and there was one vital one there. I think it was Dan McCann nipped in and turned it over, and can't emphasise enough how primary possession, how important it is.
It is, and when you win a breaking ball, particularly on an opposition kick out, it's amazing lift to a team, and it really gives you an attacking platform better than any other attacking platform, and gets you going forward straight away, plus the opposition on the back foot. I mean, looking at the stats there, actually both teams have been guilty of losing possessions or losing breaking ball on their own kick outs, but that also highlights that both teams are going after the opposition breaking ball. They're trying to force the opposition long to fight for the breaking ball, because obviously the short is a lot harder to work with, so certainly that has showed intent, and for Erne Gaels, without a doubt, that has been a massive thing for them tonight. I suppose in terms of scores and whatnot, both teams are hitting over 50% in terms of return, which is an awful lot better than last week, but also it shows you the quality of the scores that have been taken here tonight.
And Colm, just to expand further on a point you made earlier, I've heard a lot of people be critical of Fermanagh club football. I mean, that's as good a game as we have seen all year. As good as 30 minutes of football. It has had everything. It's had a bit of excitement. It's had the referee indecisions, the black card, but it's had some tremendous fielding. I'm thinking of Owen Beacom underneath us here, Michael O'Mcgarrigle on his own there, and some wonder point taken. Great advertisement for Fermanagh GAA.
Absolutely. I think people tend to get carried away with individual teams like Kilcoo and Glen, and then think that all the club football in those counties are infinitely better than Fermanagh. I always think the top 2 or 3 teams in Fermanagh in any given year could live with the vast majority of teams in other counties, and could give championships a rattle in other counties. But we've seen what Derrygonnelly did, beat Trinnick twice in 3 or 4 years. Enniskillen won a game in Ulster as well. So I hate this sort of belittling ourselves and talking ourselves down. We shouldn't do that. There's some, as Niall says, some of the score taken tonight has been excellent. 52% conversion rate, much better than last week. And also too, last week, which we didn't talk about probably as much, it was a very hard night for football last week. Conditions were terrible. Tonight is much better. There's not a breath of wind, and they're putting on an exhibition, some of those players.
And Colm said it there earlier, and he said Erne Gaels will feel that doubt will have gone out of their mind. Their tails are up, and I think I made the point to both of you at half time. Erne Gaels didn't really want half time, but they were 2 points down at that time, and then they got the goal. So I suppose half time coming at a good time for both teams.
probably more so for Enniskillen because of the fact that obviously the Erne Gaels had such momentum. And I mean, funny, we were just saying in the lead up to it, with 5 minutes to go, and I think Erne Gaels had sort of come into the game. We felt at that stage that they needed to bring it back to a point just before half time, and they've actually gone a lot better than that. They've gone a point in front, which we didn't expect. But again, the great thing about it is it leaves it perfectly set up for the second half, and I think I can't wait. I'm sure you're all exactly the same.
And Colm, I suppose if you were your brother in there in that dressing room now, I'm going to put you on the spot here, what would you be saying?
Again, I mean, you know, the worrying thing from the Gaels' point of view is if the fellas think about, God, we were 5 points up and we didn't bury it, you know. At the end of the day, there's a point in it. Now, it's a mental, you know, it's how you want to get your head ready for the second half. Do you want to say we were 5 up and let it slip, or do you want to say this game's here for the taking for us if we want to go and win the game? I think too, we haven't mentioned subs yet. John Rehill, I know he's carrying a bit of an injury. He's going to be a bit of an impact player for Enniskillen, and then Seamus Ryder, of course, for Erne Gaels. He didn't have an impact last week, but you know, I'd fancy him for a point or two tonight in those conditions.
Niall?
Yeah, are we back to the predictions again, Morris?
Well, just that the teams are coming out in the field here behind us. Erne Gaels coming out to rapturous applause. Enniskillen will be out shortly. Yeah, give us your prediction.
I knew you were waiting for that. And I said 3 points all along to Enniskillen Gaels, and I'm going to stick with it. Yeah.
I'm going to have to stay with them, and I know who you're going for.
Well, I'm looking up at the New York Gold Cup there, and maybe it will come down the Shore Road. That final word back to Jet there.
The beats there, Morris. Okay, so welcome back here for the second half in Brewster Park. What a first half we've had, hugely entertaining. Last week, as I say, it was 5 points to 4 in favour of Erne Gaels. They went in leading by that solitary point, same as happened this week, 1-6 to 1-5. Of course, last week ended in a draw. This week, if it ends in a draw, we'll have 2 10-minute periods of extra time. Right. And if it's still level after that, we will have to finish it today on penalties.
Right.
And the winners play Scottstown next week.
Yeah, so after the intensity of this game, it'll take them a few days to recover. Well, look, hopefully the second half's just as intense as the first half. And I still think that what people were saying about, you know, last week's was very poor, etc., but I do believe the conditions had a serious impact on that game, and we're seeing nearly the exact opposite today in terms of how fast the ball has been moved, sure footwork, good clean catches. No, different game, and let's hope this half is nearly as good. Even I'd be happy with than the first half.
Yeah, it's been really, really richly entertaining here on Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GA TV, coming to you live from Brewster Park on a beautiful autumnal evening. Not in air, bit of battling going on in the middle of the field again. Of course, Brian Boots Mullen got injured in the throw-up last time round, and this time no injuries thankfully, and Erne Gaels have won it with Ulton Callum in the middle of the field. He lays it back to Martin Gilfeather. Gilfeather gives it to Ulton O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Ryan Lyons. Ryan Lyons to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey edges into the Enniskillen Gaels half. Still McCaffrey being held up there by Owen Beacom. Well, it looked like a genuine attempt to play the ball, but Tommy McCaffrey went to ground, and Owen Murphy blows his whistle, and the free goes the way of Erne Gaels.
Right, that's funny. I thought the first half of the tackle was fine, but then towards the end of it, he managed he tripped him somewhere or other. I'm not sure what he used to trip him.
Yeah, because he did dislodge the ball fairly, I thought.
Yeah.
So, Ulton Callum in possession. He's had a fine first half for Erne Gaels. So too Ryan Lyons. Back it comes to Ulton Callum near the sideline. 20 metres out. Gives it to his younger brother, Aegon. Back it comes out to the other brother. 3 Callums. This time it's Oshin. Of course, we have 2 McLones, Gregory and Charlie, with 3 Callums, 2 Riders, 3 McCanns, Barry, Jack and Dan, 2 Cones and 2 McCaffreys and 2 Johnsons. So plenty of brothers on the Erne Gaels side. That's one of those brothers. Ulton Callum gives it back to Shane Rooney. Shot goes in. Rooney's shot sails over the bar. That's a phenomenal score from Shane Rooney. He hasn't had a shot at the post tonight. What a
Well, that's
score.
what we've been saying. God, the quality of the scores has been top class now. Some of them, and from distance, both teams are crowding their, the inside from the D in. So the long range shots have to be perfect.
That was some score.
And
Really
there's
was.
a clean catch at a kick out.
Was it Ryan Lyons again?
Ryan Lyons.
Yeah.
That dominance in the middle of the field now has stood Erne Gaels in great stead.
Certainly has, and they have quite a physical presence as they're Enniskillen Gaels with Owen Beacom, Richie O'Callaghan, Brandon Horn, but it's Erne Gaels who are dominating that sector at the minute, and they're winning kick-outs and winning and retaining possession. And here they come again with the goal scorer. That's Michael O'McGarrigle. Back it goes to Ryan Lyons. Lyons gets it to Oisín Callum. Callum 65 metres out from the Enniskillen Gaels post. Comes forward, faced up by Owen Beacom. Lays it back to Ultan Callum. Ultan uses that pace, goes round Callum Jones. Brilliant pace from Ultan Callum. Still Ultan Callum. Oh, good hand in there from Johnny Casty. Deflects the ball away, and Enniskillen Gaels have turned it over in the shape of Conor Murphy. An opportunity for Enniskillen to break. Murphy lays it off. Ball in the hands of Richie O'Callaghan, but O'Callaghan drops the ball, and Ryan Lyons gets his body in front of the ball. Now a scramble on the ground, but Lyons is coming up with it. Will need support. Ships the ball out, picked up by Callum Jones, but Erne Gaels are hungry for every ball. Still on the ground. Referee finally brings that schmozzle and tussle to an end, and it goes the way of Enniskillen Gaels.
Yes, but it showed how the hunger that both teams have. We talked about how will they be able to sustain it throughout the second half. Well, they've certainly started that way.
Ethan Beresford lays it off to Colin Quinn. He got the opening score of this replay of the championship final. He tries the ball this near side of the field, where Conor Love, the man who's got a goal and point to his name, picks up possession. Love lays it back to Richie O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan threads it forward to Conor McShea. McShea jinks, turns, twists, still going. Referee thought about signalling for a free, gives it to Brandon Horn. Horn scored one with his left foot in the first half, scores one with his right foot in the second half. A very confident strike from Brandon Horn, and still 1 point between the sides, 1-7 to 1-6.
Yes, the Gaels held the ball up nicely. A bit on his wrong side, but he knew once it left his boot that it was going over.
Not often you see Brandon Horn kicking points with his left foot, or his right foot, I should say. The kick out has been taken quickly, and the referee has adjudged there's a foul
on Owen Beacom.
On Owen Beacom, and he's bringing it forward.
Yes.
And Ross Boog might fancy this. Yeah.
Well, he's making his way up, all right.
Here he comes. Is the 21-year-old goalkeeper for Enniskillen Gaels. It's on the 45-metre line. Of course, he kicked a wonderful score to level the game from a 45 last weekend. That came in the 22nd minute of the second half to leave it 8 points apiece. We hadn't a score after that, hence this replay this afternoon. Ross Bogue steadies down, getting a bit of jeering from the Erne Gaels supporters. Kicks it right forward, it tails to the left hand side and tails wide.
Yeah, funny, I thought he cut across it a wee bit.
He just didn't look as relaxed.
No, and he wasn't as fluid in the strike either. So Erne Gaels would be happy that it hadn't or didn't go over.
1-7 to 1-6. 5 minutes played here in the Monarch Senior Football Championship final replay. Ball goes out in the middle of the field. Brilliant take by Brandon Horn. There's just ascendancy drifts either way, Peter.
Yes, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with who wins the ball in the middle of the field, Jed.
Callum Jones fires one in from nearly an impossible angle. It goes to the right hand side and goes wide. Another wide for Callum, that's his third.
Yeah, and funny, in the quality that we've witnessed so far, that's unusual.
Big squeeze on the Erne Gaels kick out, something that the boys spoke about at half time. Brian Ryder under pressure, delivers it long, trusting his midfield. Michael O'McGarrigle goes up, Brandon Horn climbs all over him, and the referee gives the free.
Used his other hand, one hand up to punch the ball, the other hand on the shoulder to give himself a bit of leverage. But Owen Murphy quickly recognised it as a foul.
Ultan Callum takes the free quickly, gives it back to Ryan Lyons. Lands to Egan Callum. Back it goes to Ashen Callum. Back to Egan. Egan cuts inside between two Enniskillen men and retains possession. The boot comes off. He has time to retrieve that and get that sorted, because over on the far side, Alton O'Reilly carries it forward for Erne Gaels. Gives it to Paul Ward. Ward ships it out there to where Michael O'McGarrigle gathers possession. Gives it back now to Ashen Callum. Callum 65 metres out from the Enniskillen post. Still in possession. Looks up. Shane Mimna calls to the ball. Shane Mimna gets the ball. Mimna crosses the 65. Lays it off there to where Tommy McCaffrey is. McCaffrey does really, really well. Cuts inside Nathan Turney. Still McCaffrey going. This is a brilliant run for McCaffrey. And McCaffrey's been fouled. That's a super piece of play by Tommy McCaffrey. Just drove at the heart of the Enniskillen Gaels defence and won inside a free just inside the D.
Yes, and what he really needed was to be fouled, because he wasn't going to get much further. He wasn't going to get a clean shot away. And I have to say, Nathan Tierney obliged him.
Yeah. I seen a yellow card. I don't know if it was for Nathan Tierney or maybe for Ethan Beresford for maybe something he said. We'll check that maybe at some point as Alton Callum steadies down inside the D, dead straight in front of the goals. Kicked 3 in the drawing game, has kicked 3 already in this replay, and this should be number 4, and it should put his side 2 points in front, and all of that has been delivered by Alton Callum, and it's 1-8 to 1-6, and there's a sub on the Erne Gaels team, and that looks like Barry McCann.
Yes, it's Barry McCann coming in. He's coming in for Gregory McLone.
Are you surprised by that?
So I thought Gregory McLone has done all right. He'll be happy enough for this 30 minutes. Now we'll just see what Barry McCann brings. If he's gone into the full forward line.
Gregory McLone maybe has run out of steam a little, but he's encouraging the Erne Gaels support as he comes off to get behind this Erne Gaels side for these last 22 minutes of this championship final. 1981, such a long period of time since Erne Gaels got their hands on the New York Cup, as Conor Love gathers the ball, gives it back. Strong talons there by Dan McCann on Conor McShea, and the free will go the way of Enniskillen. Taken quickly, back inside it goes to Owen Beacom. Beacom forces this one inside, but it's gone to the left hand side and gone wide. A little bit of panic
I'm not
set in.
sure what he meant to do by that. He just it looked a bit more like he had kicked it away, but I think he maybe wanted to flight it in.
Well, there's just something that's happened off the ball here. Egan Callum. Well, there's a card gone up. Well, I'm not sure what is happening here, but Alton Callum is enraged. There's a little bit of, and Owen Beacom is the man that's been called. I'm not sure what colour the card is. Is it a black card for Owen Beacom? Well, I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it either.
I'm not sure if we have a replay of it. So, 9.5 minutes played in this first half, and it's a second half, and it's the second black card of the game, and it's gone the way of Enniskillen Gaels and Owen Beacom, and Conor McShea gathers the ball for Enniskillen Gaels. They trail by 2. Has he a finish? What a score! He signals to the Enniskillen Gaels crowd that is a brilliant score from Conor McShea over the bar. It sails 1 point between the sides, 1-8 to 1-7.
What a beautiful strike by McShea. He certainly has that in his locker. I see Egan Callum has recovered fully, but it's all about who's winning the kickouts in the middle of the field.
Ball close to the sideline, over the sideline it goes. Enniskillen Gaels win themselves a line ball, taken quickly as that man Colin McShea coming again. McShea scored a point a moment ago. This time lays it back inside. Bit of afters going on down below as Kieran Quinn puts the shot inside. It's still been kept in play, or has it? Well, the referee has stopped the game. Well, you just cannot take your eyes of this, but stopping the game at this stage to me is the strange one, because coming in and about to put the ball probably in the back of the net was one of the Enniskillen Gaels players, and he is perplexed as to why the game has been stopped. Meanwhile, the referee is speaking to his sideline official down there from Irvinstown, Barry Monaghan, and it looks like one of the Enniskillen Gaels players is going to be in a spot of bother. Did you witness anything?
No, I didn't.
No?
We were following the play.
Yeah. Look, we'll see what the referee does in a moment, but stopping the play? when the Enniskillen Gaels were about to maybe put the ball in the back of the net.
Yes, this is Ryan Lyons he's talking to.
Yeah, Ryan Lyons is the first man. Callum Jones is beside him. Yellow card for Callum Jones and Ryan Lyons. Ryan Lyons not happy about that, and the referee, it's a straight red card. It's a straight red card for Richie O'Callaghan. So Richie O'Callaghan has picked up a red card, and Enniskillen Gaels are down to 13 players, and yellow cards for Ryan Lyons and Callum Jones. Peter McGinnity, what a final.
Right, and the game's going to be restarted now with a throw up on the 20-metre line, on the Erne Gaels 20-metre line. One of them, this game has everything.
Well,
some of the things we'd prefer it hadn't, of course. But
well, this can't be kicked over the bars. Callum Jones has the ball on the 20-metre line, but he has to play it short because the game was stopped. Well, that's not a great ball, but Johnny Cassidy does well. What a block there by Dan McCann. Pulled on by Callum Jones, and the ball is being defended, and everything is going the way of Erne Gaels at the moment. Heavy challenge there on Jack McCann. Referee nearly got himself in the way, but Jack McCann does well. Comes out with the ball. Another bit of afters over there. I see Egan Kellam on the ground over there, or maybe it's Ulton. It is Ulton. Well, you can't take your eyes on this one. We're trying to follow the ball, but there's all sorts of shenanigans still going on over on the far side. Callum Jones is involved. So too Paul Ward. Ball back in the hands of Ryan Lyons. Ball fed forward now to Tommy McCaffrey. Erne Gaels, let's take stock. Lead by a point. 1-8 to 1-7. They've 2 extra men for the next few minutes. That's a heavy challenge on Shane Rooney. Too heavy, says our referee. No, he's stopping the ball, I think, because of a head injury. He hasn't given the free.
No, I don't think so. I thought Shane got hit in a full frontal, but obviously here's it here. Not sure.
Hard to know.
Might have got an elbow, a glancing blow by an elbow, but.
Well, Owen Murphy has a tough job in his hands, but he did consult with Barry Monaghan in around the yellow cards and the straight red for Richie O'Callaghan.
Yes, it was a team, a team of officials who made that decision.
Yeah. Disappointing for Richie O'Callaghan, the most experienced player on the Enniskillen Gaels side. And meanwhile, the referee wants to talk to another one of the Enniskillen Gaels players, and this time it's Ethan Beresford. He got a yellow card last week. He's got a yellow card this week as well. And Enniskillen Gaels, I would suggest, Peter McGinnity, are in a bit of trouble at this stage.
Yes, and funny, the discipline, that intensity that we talked about, there's a very thin line between intensity and lack of discipline.
Yeah.
And obviously it has it's gone over. It has boiled over,
yeah.
And the Gaels have come out on the wrong end of the cards.
So Shane Rooney still receives attention. Ball will be given to Enniskillen Gaels to restart. Back deep in their own half. We've played 15 minutes of the second half. We've had 2 points apiece, but we've had a whole lot more drama on top of that. Black card for Owen Beacom with 9.5 minutes gone, so he has another 4 minutes or so to go.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I don't know what Brandon was at there. Like, he obviously kicked it directly at Shane Rooney, hoping to get another 13 metres, but it was just so obvious. It was.
Well, the break ball has been won by Conor McShea. Important break ball, and the yellow and blue jerseys strive forward here now. Ball in the hands there of Conor Murphy. Gives it to McShea. Back to McShea again. It goes. McShea needs support. Has on the far side with Jack Tierney. Tierney gives it back to Conor McShea. His side trailed by a point. It's 15 against 13 in terms of the numbers on the pitch in favour of Erne Gaels. Of course, Owen Beacom will be back on the field in 4 or 5 minutes as Brandon Horan comes forward, gives it to his goalkeeper. That's Ross Bogue. Ross is 45 metres out, takes a nice ball inside. Well, good defensive play by Tommy McCaffrey. He done really, really well there, put in a challenge on Ethan Beresford, and it's turned over the ball, and Erne Gaels have possession. Ball fed over there towards Ulton O'Reilly. O'Reilly does well, gives it forward to Egon Kellam. Kellam, midfield area. Looks up, surveys his options, gives it back to Paul Ward. Ward comes forward, senior champions Erne Gaels in 1979. They beat Timor in 1981 when they beat Belleek. Captain the side then was the great Jerry Goller, who sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago. Erne Gaels come forward, hungry for success. 81, such a long time ago. Looking to win the championship for the third time. In the shape of Ulton Callum to come forward. Can Callum knock over another point? Brilliant from Callum. Still going. Can he finish? Gets the shot away, but I think it's gone to the right and gone wide. The pressure came on just at the right time.
Yes, serious pressure there, but it looked for a moment like he was going to drift away, but the Enniskillen Gaels defence did very well. He shot. I don't know if he should have continued with the shot. He was under so much pressure.
John Real and Cody Halligan about to come on the field of play.
Yes, and the Gaels are going to need fresh legs after playing with men down.
Challenge there with Ryan Lyons and Callum Jones, and again it's Belleek that have snapped up the loose ball and they come forward again with Ulton O'Reilly. Ball goes to ground. O'Reilly's been fouled. Erne Gaels lead by a point. 1-8 to 1-7. They're 13 minutes away from championship glory. It's two substitutions that I spoke about a moment ago. John Real, first man on.
Number 15, John Real, replacing number 18, Conor Murphy.
And he will replace Conor Murphy. And number 17, Cody Halligan. And he replaces Ethan Beresford. So, two changes made for Enniskillen Gaels.
And there's still 12, at least 12, if not 13 minutes left. And there's still only a point in it. Now, the fact that the Gaels are down a man, here's Owen Beacom about to come back on, so that'll bring them back up to 14.
Yeah, next play, I'd say he should be on, well, maybe 2 minutes because of that delay. As Tommy McCaffrey comes forward, gives to Ulton Callum. Callum with another chance. Has he pulled it? No, it looks good from Ulton Callum. It's his fifth of the evening, and over the bar it sails, and Erne Gaels lead by 2.
I tell you, the Gaels, Enniskillen Gaels don't want to hear it, but this is the Ulton Callum that we came to love there for years. The way his pace and his accuracy from shooting, he has had quiet enough days, but this is certainly not one of them.
To be fair, you and I have done a few games of Erne Gaels this year, and Ulton has had a quiet enough championship, but he's been absolutely brilliant. Ball fed in, not the best ball in the world, and well fielded on that occasion, and well held in there by Shane Mimna. Does well for Erne Gaels. Oisin Callum comes striding forward, gives it to Dan McCann, the hero of last week. Well, the idea was good, but the execution wasn't as good as he would have wanted. And Shane Rooney isn't able to gather possession, and Josh Horan picks up the pieces for Enniskillen Gaels.
Oh, that was two errors by one each, and the ball given away cheaply, which hasn't been happening up to now. Really not. Maybe tiredness is getting into it. Maybe a bit of pressure.
Pressure certainly something that will come to play, particularly for Erne Gaels. No experience of winning a championship, as I've said, for a long time. As Conor McShea goes to ground, he's been fouled. The free will go the way of one of the Erne Gaels players, drops to the ground. Not sure there was a lot in that. Referee has allowed Owen Beacom to come on the field of play. The free will still go the way of Enniskillen. Dan McCann was the man that dropped to the ground. This is an opportunity to bring it back to a 1-point game. I think it's John Real, is it, that's just come on the field of play. John Real is going to kick it. It's his first touch of the game. Real kicks it and kicks it over the bar. Back to a 1-point game.
Yes. Well, look, I'm delighted that it is, because these last 10 minutes now are going to be frantic. I know that the Gaels are down a man, but if they can have a serious work rate among the other 13 outfield players, they should be okay.
Ended in a draw last week, 8 points apiece, hence this replay. Pressure goes on, Shane Mimna, can he hold on? Huge pressure, Mimna, did he overcarry it? Referee says no, back it goes to Ryan Lyons. Lyons clears it out. There down below us, coming striding out was Jack McCann. Brilliant by Jack McCann. Gives a dash in Callum. Coolest man on the pitch. Brilliant move this from Aaron Gaels. Still the combat here on Callum. Callum has pace. Still going. Callum bounces the ball. Callum looks up. Gives it back inside to Michael Logan McGarrigle. Spreads the play. Aaron Gaels a man over. One of the Shane Rooney. Back inside it goes to Barry McCann. Still McCann. Over the bar it goes. Super score. Well constructed. Thought about hitting it at the crossbar. It went over it rather than under it.
Yes, it was a good score. Now the Erne Gaels attacked well there, but at the same time I thought there was maybe a touch of overcarrying in their move.
Shane Memnon maybe back here.
Yeah. So
maybe Egon.
a bit of luck there maybe in getting the ball that far up the pitch. But here's a midfield contest again now.
Up the goal for brilliant take again by Michael Hogue McGarrigle. Super take by Michael Hogue. As I said, quiet last week, certainly not quiet this week. He's been absolutely brilliant all over the place, getting his hands on ball, and of course scoring that crucial goal on the stroke of half time, which put Aaron Gaels a point in front. Ball fed forward towards Shane Rooney, and Shane Rooney has claimed the mark. Intelligent play by Shane Rooney out in front, gathers the ball, edge of the D. Should be a good opportunity to increase the lead to 3, 110 to 1-8. Rooney steadies down. Rooney kicks it over the bar. Huge release of pressure there from Shane Rooney when he kicked that. Clenched fist, pumped.
Yes, I mean, but his take and the ball in was absolutely brilliant.
The Erne Gaels team.
Odrin Johnson, I think, is coming on here.
Oren Johnson replacing number 12, Martin Gilfeather.
22 for 12. That's Owen Johnson for Martin Gilfeather.
And again, as well, that came from a kick out, one cleanly in the air in the middle of the field
By Michael Hogue McGarrigle.
by Michael Hogue. So look, at possession in the middle of the field is proven crucial.
Aaron Gaels beat Erne 13 points to 2-3. Beat Devonish 12 to 9. Lost to Derry Gonley 1-9 to 1-8 in the group stages. Then they beat Timor in the quarter final 9 to 7. They beat Derry Gonley 10 points to 9 in the semi final. And they're leading this championship final by 3 points. There's 7 minutes to play. Enniskillen Gaels, champions in 22, come forward with Conor McShea. McShea closed down, still McShea. Oh, brilliant dummy solo by McShea, brings it into trouble, still going. He has that elusive movement, then feet. Kieran Quinn coming forward, black jerseys surround him, still coming forward is McShea. Stripped, the ball is stripped over him, it's on the ground. Has it spilled out? The referee says there's a free out. Free out for Erne Gaels.
Funny, when I saw that ball arriving in there, I thought it was Conor Love, but it wasn't. It was Conal, and he was on it. He hadn't got a left foot. If Conor Love had got the ball where Conal got it, he would have rifled it in. Or well, would have scored or not, another thing. But that a goal for Enniskillen Gaels at this stage would be.
Conor Love has been kept very quiet this second half. It has to be said, Jack McCann doing a super job with him as Aaron Gaels come forward again. The two Callums combined. This time it's Oshin and Egon. Back it comes now to the man who was introduced a moment ago. That's Owen Johnson. Not the best ball in the world, has been cut out, and Enniskillen Gaels have turned it over. Brandon Horn gets it there now as far as Kieran Smith. Smith gives it forward. Johnny Casty tries to come forward, but he's been closed out of it, and the referee allows play to continue. Frantic action here. Well, the referee is going to stop the play because there's an injury to Brandon Horn. Horn lying prostrate on the ground. Referee stops the play.
Yes, and it gives you a chance to get your breath back. Now that attack of the Gaels, it literally petered out. Johnny Casty never had the ball in his hands. Tried to get it to a teammate, but he just couldn't manage it.
He hasn't got going today, Johnny Casty.
No, well, no, that's not. It's not unusual that we have talked so much about Ulcan Kellam.
Yeah,
that's Johnny Casty's responsibility. So obviously, Ulcan has got the upper hand today.
Well, this doesn't look good news for Brandon Horn. Could well be that hamstring problem again, or maybe he has to come off because it wasn't a head injury and has received physio attention. I think that is probably the case. Meanwhile, Egan Callum is on the ground down below us. Not sure what has happened. Egan
was injured, you remember, earlier on
in
a what we thought was an off the ball incident.
Seamus Ryder's coming on. Yeah. And Egan Callum is going to have to leave the field for here. And I would say that's a significant blow because Egan Callum has been really, really good.
Yeah, not sure about Brandon. Brandon had to come off because it was a head injury, and now he has to come back on. linesman has to allow him back on.
Yeah, I think that's the case. If it wasn't a head injury, he has to come off and then come back on.
Yes.
again. So Egan's off, and Seamus Ryder, wearing number 29, is on the field of play for the last 4 minutes, plus I'm sure 4 or 5 minutes of additional time to be added on. Don't go anywhere. This one is going to the wire. The New York Cup, where it'll reside for the winter of 24, will be determined in the next maybe 6-7 minutes, unless we go to a replay or go to extra time. Erne Gaels in possession, coming forward. Ball in the hands of Dan McCann. McCann. Oh, takes it, puts it on the ground. Now he's been surrounded, does well, retains possession.
Yeah, gee, he did well to come out of that. No, that would have been a bit of a disaster.
Ryan Lyons gives it to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey switches the play over towards Dan McCann. McCann has Michael McGarrigle running alongside him. Gives it to Dalton Callum. Callum been faced up by Johnny Casty. This time intends to recycle the ball. Does so. Gets it to Tommy McCaffrey. Eaten into the clock. Erne Gaels happy. They have that extra man as well. They can play the ball backwards, because Enniskillen Gaels haven't enough players to go man-to-man at this stage. Back it goes the whole way to Ryan Lyons. He's back inside his own half. He gets it forward again to Tommy McCaffrey. The seconds are eking away. 27-27 playing. Ball in the hands of Dalton Callum. Space now for Erne Gaels to operate in. Johnny Casty gets his hands on Dan McCann again. Dan McCann has given away. Colin McShea tries to play the ball. Dalton Callum fouls him. Colin McShea takes the kick quickly. Back it goes to Josh Horn for Enniskillen Gaels. Gives it to Owen Beacom. 2 minutes left in the game, plus whatever the referee adds on. Enniskillen Gaels trail by 3 points. Ball in the hands of Nathan Tierney. Great dispossession there. Was it Seamus Ryder? It certainly was.
Yes, and he had absolutely no need to bounce the ball there.
And now the ball fed forward by Tommy McCaffrey to Seamus Ryder. He has a man alongside him. That's Shane Rooney. Still Ryder goes. Surely goes over the top to Rooney. Rooney gives it inside. Oh, Ross Bogue has come out and retrieved the situation, but for one fleeting moment it looked as if Seamus Ryder was going to put Shane Rooney through. Meanwhile, there's 2 Erne Gaels players down. There's a couple of Enniskillen Gaels players down. I think a lot of players are out on their feet.
Yes, well, funny, I'll go back to that move that Seamus Ryder was involved and Shane Rooney were involved in. The Gaels players who were back there did brilliantly, because they backed off, didn't make up Seamus Ryder's mind for him, and when he did decide to fist it, it wasn't the best pass, and there wasn't enough room for Shane to get it into his hands. I see Shane still on the ground there now.
Yeah, Shane Rooney receiving attention one side of the pitch. Tommy McCaffrey receiving attention below us. Tommy McCaffrey done really well. Fed the ball forward to Seamus Ryder. Looks a little groggy down below us.
Yes, well, that's the head injury. He's coming off as well. Barry, the linesman, is sorting that out.
Oh, that was a heavy hit on Shane Rooney.
Right, but it was a terrible ball.
It was a terrible ball. Yeah. So where is the ball? Yeah, it's in the hands of Conor McShea, middle of the field. Number 2 is Jack Tierney. He comes off. Coming on is Cal McAnespe. 26-year-old McAnespe is on the field of play. Last throw of the dice for Simon Bradley. His side won the championship in 2022. As Conor McShea floats a high, dropping dangerous ball inside, up the go forward. It's been flicked away, comes out to her. Conor Love is ready to pick up possession. Love flicks it inside, but it's gone to the right hand side and gone wide, and the board goes up below us. There'll be 5 minutes of additional time to be added on, and we're in those 5 minutes now.
Yes, and funny, a point would have done very well there. Conor Love, he didn't go for a shot. It wasn't a shot at a point, it was a kick into the square to try and create a goal chance, and as it turned out, it drifted wide.
Erne Gaels lost the final in they lost it way back in 1974, then they lost it in 2016, they lost to Enniskillen Gaels in the 2022 final. They lost to Derry Conley in the 2023 final. They're now 4 minutes away from bringing the New York Cup back to Belleek for the first time since 81, but they've turned the ball over, they've given it away, but going back and retrieving the situation there for Erne Gaels. Was that picked on the ground? The referee says no, it's a free out for Erne Gaels. they've somehow managed to turn that one over.
Yes, a litany of mistakes.
Yeah.
One by Erne Gaels, one by Enniskillen Gaels, and now it's in the hands of Erne Gaels.
Ball kicked forward by Oisín Callum. Good ball it is too. Into the hands of Ultan O'Reilly. To Ultan Callum. Callum with space in front of him. Callum still going. Callum still going. A point will win it. Callum lays it off to Shane Rooney. Oh, what a block. What a super block on the Erne Gaels man. Ball goes to ground. Battling for it in there. The two number 4s. Eventually comes back out to Tommy McCaffrey. Back inside it goes to Seamus Ryder. He kicks it over the bar. And Erne Gaels lead by 4 with 3.5 minutes to play.
Yes, that's a mighty score there by Ryder. And who better would you want? The accuracy of that big man is perfection nearly, and that gives him the gap, the 4-point gap that's so vital.
Huge performance from Erne Gaels. They were trailing 1-4 to 2 points after 15 minutes, 1-5 to 3 points after 24 minutes. They've somehow came back, and it looks as if the New York Cup is going to down the Shoal Road and into Belleek this evening, and there'll be some celebrations in the Border Village tonight because it's 1981. Do the maths on that for me. Is it 43 years? I think it is, since the New York Cup has been in Belleek. It looks as if it's going to be there if the next 2.5 minutes go their way. They're in possession with Barry McCann. Ball is fed back out to Michael O'McGarrigle. You can think about man of the match as Ultan O'Reilly comes forward with it. Gives it over here towards Oisín Callum. What a game he's had. All the Callums played really, really well. The man with the ball is Michael O'McGarrigle. His goal was so important. Shane Mimna, one of the more experienced players on the field, gives it to Jack McCann. What a stalwart Jack McCann has been. 28 years of age, still in possession. Feeds it forward. In space is Ultan O'Reilly. He's a youngster, 21 years of age. Splits it inside. There's another chance of a score. Dan McCann to Rooney. Rooney chips it over. Erne Gaels are in dreamland. Erne Gaels are in dreamland. This has been a sensational performance by the men from the backs of the Erne, and they're going to bring the New York Cup home.
There's absolutely no doubt about that now. There's still a few minutes left, but the Gaels have been reduced to pumping in high ball and hoping for the best. And the Erne Gaels defence
has been won again by Shane Mimna. He's had some second half, to be fair to him. Ball is on the ground. Battling for it there is John Rehill. Rehill has been fouled. There'll be a free in. 1:13 plays 1-8. A historic day in Brewster Park for the men from Erne Gaels. The free will go the way of Enniskillen. Callum Jones will lob it in. They need a goal, and they need it now, and then they'll need another one, and that's unlikely. Callum Jones blasts it over the bar, but I would say, Peter McGinnity, that is just a consolation score at this stage.
Yes, because I think there's only 1 minute left in the time. Granted, if it had been 4 points in it, I would have agreed with him taking that point.
Yeah.
But with 5 in it, they need something special now.
Ball out in the centre of the field. Ultan Callum, what a game he's had. Wins possession again. He has been so hungry throughout this game. He's striding like a greyhound over the far side of the field. Still coming forward is Ultan Callum. 45 metres out. We're down to the last dying embers of this game. Last 40 seconds or so. Coming forward now in possession is Owen Johnson. Johnson slips it inside to Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey! He's put it over the bar, has he? No, he's put it wide. But it won't really matter.
It's
all over. It is all over. Erne Gaels, the first time since 1981, have won the New York Cup. What scenes, what celebrations, and thoroughly deserved, it has to be said. They have been the better team for most of this game, and they have brought the New York Cup back to Belleek for the first time since 81. They lost the final in 2016, lost it in 22, lost it in 23, but all them are memories that have eked into the past because they were champions in 79, they were champions in 81, and now you can write champions in 2024. Congratulations to Erne Gaels.
Yes, and I must say, they did it the hard way. They let the Gaels get away from them in the first half, but they responded brilliantly, and what a second half. Now, granted, the extra man they had didn't do them a bit of harm, but with Ultan Callum in the form he was in throughout, he was punching holes right from the start and getting scores.
Yeah, well, I know you have to make a decision on man of the match, so I may as well ask you now. Is it
it's
the man you've talked about?
Yes,
yeah.
it is. It
yeah.
is. It is Ulton.
Yeah, so Ulton Kellam, we will let folks in Mannock know that Ulton Kellam is our man of the match, and he will receive his award. But more importantly, Erne Gaels will receive the New York Cup, and I think they're probably in shock, are they?
Well, look, they went for it. They went for it. You have to give them credit. Played some great football, got some great scores. Overall, look, it was an entertaining game for the neutral. The Gaels will be disappointed that they didn't cling on to that 4 or 5 points they had early on in the first half. The sending off probably left them difficult in that last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But look, at all credit to Erne Gaels, and congratulations to Erne Gaels.
Years of hurt, Peter. You know, years of starvation, it has to be said, and years of hurt, losing finals. Look at them scenes out there. You know, you've experienced championship wins, you've experienced championship losses. Talk to us about the feelings and what's going on out there. Is there a greater moment in your sporting career, maybe?
Not really, especially with all the disappointments they've had over the years. That's the key to it. It makes this so much bigger, so much better, and look, at fair play to them.
And they come in as underdogs, Peter. You know, throughout the competition, I suppose they were beat by Derrygonnelly in a league game that put them into a quarter-final. They just about got past Timor and no more, 9 points to 7 in Park na Erne way back in September, and then the semi-final against Derrygonnelly, another 1 point win, and they did come in as underdogs, but they've proven all the pundits wrong.
Yes, I thought with the way the Gaels were playing, the conditions, the way Conor Love started, I thought he was going to be a match winner, but in fairness to Erne Gaels, they battled on, and they definitely deserved it in the end. Oh, look, you can see the joy on their faces.
Yeah.
This is someday.
The McMahons there, Gaby Ferguson, I see in the picture. Kieran Smith there, Seamus Callum, the father, there he is with his son Ulton. The three Callums were super. Oisin Callum. And that stage, the last 10 minutes of the the first half, Peter, Ryan Lyons and Oisin Callum, when Belleek were in trouble, they were the two men, I think,
stood up. Stood up, no doubt about it. But they look at you've mentioned, and throughout the game we mentioned quite a few boys who were having an impact. I think they deserved it. They deserved it. Now there's no doubt about that, and congratulations to them. Well,
Ulton Kellam is going to come over pitch side, and he will join Morris down pitch side. So Morris hasn't the earphones in, but we're going to hand down to him. I think he's hearing me. Are you, Morris?
You hear me there?
Yeah, well done.
Can you hear me? Yeah, that's grand, yeah. Okay, well, very joyous occasion behind us here. Ulton, sum that up.
That's hard to put into words. The last 3 weeks have been hard to get your head around, but that's phenomenal there. Lost for words, to be honest. Morris, you've been dreaming of stuff like this since you were a cub. Honestly, that feeling of the final whistle there is pure euphoria, honest to God.
Well, going to the game itself, Ulton, I mean, the worst possible start. Boots goes off, Shane gets the black card, you go 5 points down. What character, what resolve. You kicked a couple of great scores yourself to drag them back into it. But the character that this team have shown here tonight, you must be so proud of them.
Okay, and this band of brothers that we call ourselves, we got relegated 5 years ago, won intermediate and then 3 finals back to back, so I don't think our character can be questioned, especially after losing 2 finals. And we've experienced that before, bad starts in finals, and I think we knew that could happen, so we just said to ourselves, down tools, next ball approach, leaders step up. We've leaders in each line, every single man on the pitch there was a leader, and to be honest, we stepped up when we were needed.
And one of the facets of Erne Gaels' play this year, Ulton, I know I myself was so impressed by your control of games, and the fact you didn't panic, going 5 points down. The same against Derrygonnelly, you went 2 down the day you drew there, and you came back and done it.
Yeah, to be honest, since Declan came in at the start, he's always re-emphasised that next ball approach. No matter what, we're trying to control the next play, and regardless of what happens is irrelevant. if you go a goal down, you go 1-5 down, whatever it is, it's irrelevant. It's that next ball approach every single time, and I think that's been, he could have come in and said that to us, but it's been drilled into us every single night of training, and the boys have just understood it.
Well, I think you have a little duty to attend to there. There's a little bit of silverware you have to go up and get, so Alton, congratulations, well done.
Yeah, great scenes.
Maybe I get...
Yeah, great scenes down there. Morris, thanks. If you can work away and get whoever you can, we'll carry it forward up here for the time being. But just a couple of things on that. Declan Bonner's role, Peter, we didn't speak much about him, but you have to give him huge credit coming in and the way he's guided his side to a championship final win after his first year in charge.
Yes, he had the material, but it had to be moulded, and he certainly has done that job and done it very well. They've had so many disappointments over the years. Another one could have been coming down the line, but somebody has to take credit for the way that they are, that togetherness that they had. I think Alton talked about it there.
Referenced it there,
that togetherness they had, that can come from the leaders in the team or in the backroom team. And Declan Bonner must take some credit.
Yeah, and previous managers, Seamus Ryder, of course, and Morris himself, put in serious effort to mould these players and develop these players. And this team has been coming for quite a while.
Yes, and have been learning all the time until this day when all that learning came to fruition.
And the man we spoke about, Ryan Lyons, I think we're going to get a quick word with him down there. Morris is ready to speak to Shane Rooney and Ryan Lyons down there. Morris, down to you.
By team captain Ryan Lyons, Shane Rooney. Shane, I'm going to go to you first. I'm going to ask you about a prediction from last Sunday evening.
Look, last Sunday, I'm massive afraid that 9 times out of 10 I backed myself to score. So I went out of here and I was fucking, sorry, excuse my language. I was very downhard and I beat myself up with it all week, to be honest. But now I'm going to give Morris credit. He said he'd interview me in the pitch after with the cup, so I think I have to give that shout out to Morris there. But look, I think that game just showed the character of the team.
Well, yes, of course it did, Shane. Testimony to yourself and your character to come back and tag on a couple of points there this week must have been very satisfying. But I'm sure you'll agree, this was an ultimate team performance from the Gaels.
Yeah, look, we've talked about it all year, but it's not going to be individuals who's getting over, it's like Lorraine or a Custard or certain boys get us over the line. It'll be a team game. Like, it's not just the boys that there were 15 that lined out there. It was the 29 that push us on every night in training. Like for the past 3 weeks we've been having 15 on 15 and it's been relentless. Like they're the hardest games that we get. But look, it's a team game, 100%, yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get team manager Declan Bonner in here. I'm going to talk to Ryan Lyons first, team captain. Ryan, sum this up, what it means.
Look around now, that's what it means. Grown men, grown women in tears. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. 43 years, a long time. We've had a fair few failures. Lots of failures, just falling a little bit short over the last few years, and it just makes today all the more sweeter, honestly. Unbelievable.
And just come back, I know we're waiting here at Band of Brothers. You talk about Band of Brothers, we're waiting on boots. You want boots here, which is to go up for the cup, I understand. Huge blow, losing boots from the throw-in. Shane gets the black card. Enniskillen go 5 points up, and you show such character.
That's probably the difference in the last few years, to be honest. Maybe in previous years we might have wilted a little bit. We spoke about it at half time that we felt Enniskillen had threw the kick to sink at us on the first 10 minutes. We knew it was coming, but geez, we reacted well. We reacted so well. Leadership all over the pitch. Last week in terms of Dan and Dan boys stepping up in terms of leadership on the pitch. Today, just even Brian Ryder and that's right out. The leadership all over the pitch, the composure all over the pitch was just unbelievable. We knew we're capable of kicking 14, 15, 16 scores in the game, no problem, and we knew it was only a matter of time for it did click. We've been seeing very little throughout the championship, and similar enough today in one of those 9-10 scores they got, but we're confident that our offensive play would click, and it did near the end when the game opened up a little bit.
Well, I'm going to bring a man in here who is no stranger to big days. All-Ireland medal winner in 1992, came up to Belleek this year, and the man to deliver the New York Gold Cup back down the shore road, Declan Bonner. What does it mean?
Oh, brilliant, lads. These boys have worked so hard. You know, we came in here in January, and you know, the amount of work those guys put in, when they do 25, 30 training every night, and these things don't come, they're not handed to you, and you know, that's, you know, it's been 43 years since the club got that championship, but no, we're just delighted to be part of it. Myself, Paul, coming in high, but you know, anything we asked of the players, they delivered on. Anything we asked of the club, they delivered on. So it's a collective, and it takes that collective to get us over the line, you know.
And just to make that point, Declan, I suppose Brian, losing Brian so early, the black card, the points I made earlier on, the character, the resolve this team showed to come back into this game, outstanding.
Absolutely, it was absolutely massive, because you know, everything that could go wrong in that first 10 minutes did go wrong, and Brian Boots is a real leader within that group, and you know, to go after the throw-in was a massive loss, and then he conceded the goal, we went 5 down, but the character's been there all year. We've been driving this home to the guys, and it's been massive. You know, these boys deserve everything they get this evening, and there'll be a big couple of days around Belleek.
We look forward to that, Declan.
Good man, Morris, thank you.
So,
So Callum picks up the Man of the Match award, and rightly so, from Monarch representatives there. So now we'll listen to our county chairman Brian Armitage as he presents the New York, or the New York Cup.
Yeah,
I was going to call it the Gold Cup.
Yeah. Team of match officials, well done, guys. And again, thanks to Monarch for the continued support. Well done both teams for again turning out exactly 6 days later, 6-7 days later, after social conditions to back the conditions today. So well done those both teams. So unfortunately there had to be one winner today, and the winners are Erne Gaels. And we wish them all well, and the venture into the Ulster Club next Sunday, I think it is, here in Brewster Park. I want all of them to come on out to support them. So they call you today. I'm going to call on the Erne Gaels captain, Ryan, come up and accept the trophy on behalf of the team.
So Ryan Lyons will make his way up the steps in Brewster Park. Unfortunately, Brian Mullen isn't able to join his teammates. He has made his way to hospital for some treatment, I understand. But Ryan Lyons will lift the cup and be the first Belleek man to do so since 1981. Great scenes.
Yeah, the question was asked earlier on what it means to them. You can see there exactly what it means to them.
And now Ryan Lyons.
Jesus Christ. The man himself isn't here. The man who walked these steps 3 years ago nearly to the day. The same intermediate title. Brian Bootsy Mullen. He walked these steps 3 years ago nearly to the day, as he said, and he made it clear that was just the start. He said we were going to the top of Fermanagh football, and by God, we are football! Like I said, 43 years is a long, long time. To tell you people that represented this club, this team, who weren't lucky enough to be where we are here today, walking these steps, became a senior champion medal. They've all been one of the great players over the years. They're part of this here as well as we are, as much as we are today. They've led generation after generation, inspired generation after generation, and
it came to fruition today. So a massive thank you to everyone involved in the club over the last 43 years. Darren, thank you. Thank you to Owen, Jerry, Michael, Pepper, all the umpires as well. It's not an easy job, especially boys like myself and a few others here in your ear the whole time. Honestly, it's not an easy job, but he's handled it pretty well. Round of applause for the effective today. Brewster Park, it gets a fair bit of slack. It has over the last few years on this kind of day. Held up pretty well today. Thanks to everyone who's put in place today, put everything in place in terms of getting the pitch right, the whole kind of rigmarole around this kind of occasion. Massive thank you to the whole CCC, the fixture committee. I know we've done our press over the last 2 weeks, so again, massive thank you. Simon, Connor, the Gaels lads, he's unbelievable once again. Had some serious battles over the years. We knew we would have to be 10 out of 10 today. And the way it started today, it was looking very bleak on our side. The talent and quality it have is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Massive thank you for a great couple of games. We'll see you again next year, I'm sure. Well done. To every one of you standing out there tonight, everyone who was here last week, everyone who was here 2 weeks ago or close to being here, everyone who's here the last 3 or 4 years and beyond, unbelievable. Jesus Christ, I would never notice a huge support in any game, but see last week, had to stop at one stage during the game when it was scored over. The noise you make, the colour in the crowd, black and amber, over the last few years has been nothing short of unbelievable. As a club, as a community, it's been spectacular. Thank you so much for having me. I suppose 2020 we were on a downward curve. Shit had hit the fan, so to speak. We were relegated intermediate. I don't think we won a league game all year. Only for COVID we've been relegated to Division 2. I think it was sliding door moments like the Huey, Shamey, Chapo and everybody's coming on board. And it goes to show when a structure's put in place and you get the respect of the management team and the players buy into it, what can be achieved. We've had success and success. Some be failures over the year, but we've been climbing and climbing over the last few years. And then this year alone, Declan, Paul, geez, like Waters, long enough, management list there you go. QA, John, Bubba, Gaby, Shane Bowen, a couple of physios in over the course of the year. I'm probably missing 1 or 2 there as well. Seamus, he had a hard time for most of us. The work is put in, the clarity we have every time we go out and play, it's just been, again, it's been nothing short of unbelievable. We have to worry about fuck all basically when we go out and pitch. The clarity is there, everything is there for us. We just need to bring the right attitude and we'll not be far off. Lastly, to the sponsors, we've had a few, Dull Rush, we've had Wire Fuel, Great Northern, Bleak Living. There's been so much support around the town in general. It's been, again, unbelievable. Thank you so much. Not to keep down longer, we've waited 43 years. We'll have some fucking week. Let's go!
Incredible scenes as the New York Cup is raised by the Erne Gaels players. Brilliant speech by Ryan Lyons, very enjoyable, covered a lot.
He meant every word of it too. He meant every word of it. Yeah.
Went through everything in detail, well thought out, not a note in front of him, full credit to him.
Yeah, a fine footballer, but a fine fella as well.
Very much so.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah, and a great leader as well.
Yes, and well, funny, they had plenty of leaders today.
Yeah.
That was vital now. the three Kellan boys all pushed and punched holes in the Gaels' defence, in Enniskillen Gaels' defence.
I thought Tommy McCaffrey today.
Yeah, he had, and again, going back to it, he was much better today in the better conditions.
Yeah.
His sidesteps and his
further
dummy.
up the field too, Peter.
He did all right.
Deep last week.
Yeah, and okay, he got on a lot of ball, but because he was so far back a lot of the time, he wasn't as effective as he could be.
Yeah. There'll be some celebrations about Belleek for the next few days, but you know what? It's a very quick turnaround for for a team that hasn't won a championship in 43 years to be told you have to go now and play Scottstown next week, and that's not going to be simple because Scottstown are a very seasoned team, aren't they?
Yes, plenty of experience in the Ulster club. But I'd say now they'll celebrate tonight.
And tomorrow night, and Monday. I'd say they'll be a Monday club. But come here, if you don't, Peter, this shows you 43 years to wait it. It could, who's to say it might be another 10, 20, 30 years, you don't know.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't know.
The club you were involved in and I was involved in Fermanagh, we're waiting a fair length now for championship glory.
It definitely, what goes around doesn't always come around. You
so
need
they're right to celebrate it.
You need to enjoy it when it's there, because there's no guarantees.
Yeah, Scottstown, a seasoned team, very experienced in Ulster club, have had a good break coming into the game. We'll have seen Erne Gaels tonight. You'd say everything's probably stacked in their favour.
Yeah, I suppose the Erne Gaels' pace. Funny, the one thing that'll stand to Erne Gaels' advantage next week is the fact that Scottstown have never played them.
Yeah.
So it'll be 20 minutes, 25 minutes before they realise just how quick these Kellan boys are. Yeah. Small things like that. But look, you'd have to say that with Scottstown's experience over the years and the amount of times they've been playing in the Ulster club, they know what it takes. And they have, as you've said, they've had the extra week, and they'll. That's a very difficult task for Erne Gaels. It'll just be interesting to see how they approach it.
Yeah.
Do they go for it?
Well, I suppose it's a shot to nothing, really, isn't it? If they knuckle down after Monday night, is it next Saturday or Sunday? Sunday.
You're very generous, Jet. You're giving them Monday night.
Well, I would. If I were them, I would. Would you not?
Yes, when they've waited that long, they definitely deserve to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if we're going to get any more interviews, are we? No? Oh, that's us done and dusted. Morris has moved away. Peter, it's only for me to thank you yet again for your contribution. It was a brilliant final.
It was a brilliant final.
As good as it's been.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, some of the scores were just outstanding. Now look at it, and it had everything as well. It had black cards, it had red cards, it had intensity, and it boiled over maybe a couple of times. But that all added to the occasion. I thought it was just an excellent county final.
Yeah, well, all credit to Erne Gaels. They have won the county final for 2024 on a scoreline of 113-19, and I suppose that's a wrap for Fermanagh GA TV for this calendar year. My thanks, of course, goes to our cameramen, Sean and Stevie, and of course the other Sean who's not with us this evening. All the commentators, Morris and Porrick and Kieran and so on and so forth are involved, and all the pundits that came in and done the co-commentary, and also today Morris McLaughlin and pitchside, Colin Bradley and Niall Smith. The thanks to go out to them as well, and of course the man who pulls all the strings together and keeps the show on the road, that is Phil Flanagan. Our thanks to him. We hope we have enjoyed the coverage throughout the 2024 season. If you're from Belleek, you'll be very, very happy tonight. You will celebrate long and you'll celebrate hard on a magnificent victory for your club tonight. So that's a wrap from us here in Brewster Park on an evening when Erne Gaels go home as victors on a final scoreline of Erne Gaels 113, Enniskillen 19. We're all heading to Belleek for the celebrations. Thanks for joining us.